Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Noelle and I like to do videos on crystals and tarot and astrology, so welcome if you're new here. Today I'm really excited because I'm actually doing something a little bit different. So usually I talk about crystals and their zodiac signs because I love astrology. Today I wanted to show you all how to choose a crystal when you have so many choices. Disclaimer, I don't buy my crystals online. I like to hold my crystals and pick them out for myself. Totally free to do that. Some places in the world just don't have crystal shops, don't have accessibility to see the crystals in person, so online is a good way to do that. The crystal is meant to come to you. It will come to you in the mail, and that's the one you get. When someone picks it, when you purchase it, puts that piece of rose quartz in an envelope and mails it to you, then it's meant to come in your life. Now, you're probably thinking, if you've seen some of my other content, I can link it up here. I've done a video every astrological season of the zodiac year, besides Taurus that will be coming next season. Crystals associated with your zodiac sign. And I told you all in those videos what crystals would be good for your sign. So now that I've told you about those, I thought, well, you know, I need to teach you, if you have so many choices, you know, crystals before you, which one do I choose? And I'm going to give you guys some tips to help you all choose your crystal that is best for you. If you look at your crystals in your local metaphysical or mineral shop and you see all these crystals before and you're like, oh my gosh, which one do I choose? There's some things to keep in mind when choosing a crystal. Are you just looking at it for decoration purposes? What's the practical use of the crystal? The metaphysical property that you're looking for. If you want something for more self-love, you might want to try rose quartz. If you want something to manifest money, you might want to try some pyrite. Or another thing to keep in mind when you're going crystal shopping is, do you want something to carry around with? The shape is very important. Do you want something small to go about your travels during the day? Or do you want something that's more of a decorative piece to keep at home? Because something like this just isn't very practical to carry around. This is celestite. Also, different shapes have different energies as well. So something like a point, like this fluorite point, the energy goes directed up where the point is at. Do you want something that's more this sphere, like this golden healer quartz that will emit energy from all sides? I recommend something like this to keep at home or by your bedside because it will emit energy from all angles. Just a disclaimer, just because something is bigger than something else doesn't mean it's better or it has more energy than other crystals. Some crystals can be very small, such as moldavite, and have a ton of energy within them. So one of the best ways to pick a crystal is, one, just to use your intuition. When you go about picking a crystal inside a shop, after you keep those things in mind, if you see something that catches your eye, then, you know, pick it up. How does it feel in your hand? A lot of the times crystals will heat up inside your hand when you hold it. Some people say to hold crystals in your left hand because that is where you receive the most energy, and your right hand is your giving hand. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know if I particularly use that way to pick out a crystal, but that's something, if you believe in that, then that's a good way to pick out a crystal. Ways, again, you know, if a crystal heats up in your hand, that crystal is probably for you. If it gives you a little jolt of energy or it makes your hand feel tingly inside, then that's a good indicator that that crystal is for you. So another way to use your intuition is to use a pendulum. Now, a pendulum, if you don't know how to use it, I want to make a video about how to use a pendulum. It's very easy once you get the hang of it, and you're actually using a crystal to pick out another crystal. Typically, pendulums have a crystal at the bottom of it. This is carnelian, and if you know how to use a pendulum, I would say this is the best way to pick out a crystal, because your higher self, which is connected to your pendulum, or your guides, are telling you which crystal is best for you. So if you want to go to your shop and pick out a rose quartz, you know, what kind of rose quartz is good for me. Is it this little heart? Is it this is aura rose quartz? This is a good way to choose between two different crystals that are very similar as these two pieces of rose quartz are. So what you'll do is you will simply ask your pendulum, you know, what crystal is good for you. The pendulum will swing the direction towards the crystal that you should choose. That is your way of knowing which crystal you should take home with you. Like I said, it's a really good way if you know you're kind of on a budget and you don't want to pick too many crystals to take home with you and you're stuck between two lovely pieces of mineral to choose from. You can ask your pendulum, you know, is this crystal good for me? Is this crystal good for me? Because pendulums are for yes and no questions, and they're also used, for me, they're used to pick crystals. That's mostly what I use a pendulum for in the first place. You know, another way to gain a crystal in your life is to let it come to you. I think, you know, I believe in destiny and that type of thing. So you don't have to worry so much about, you know, is this the right crystal for me? If you were meant to buy it, then you'll go to the cash register and put your money down and they'll give you the crystal in return and you will take it home and that crystal is meant for you. You don't have to get caught up in you know, did I buy the right one? You know, if your mind is thinking about that other crystal that was similar to the one you bought or something else, or you just didn't have enough money to buy it at that time, or it wasn't available to you, and you go back and it's still there for you to buy, then that crystal's for you. And if it's not there, then it wasn't meant for you. Things like gifts, you found it outside, you found it in your things buried in your closet that you had gotten this crystal like 10 years ago as from someone or something, or you've never seen it in your life and it was in there, and that crystal is probably meant for you. A good example of this is this little piece of pyrite. This little piece of pyrite was given to me by my grandfather like when I was a little girl. I didn't realize until now that he was very into spirituality. I grew up Catholic and he was as well, but he had little Buddhas and things in his condo that I remember asking him about when I would go over to his home. And one day he gave me, in a little red pouch, I remember this, these little crystals. One was a tiger's eye. That stone is long gone. I have no idea where that is. But I do still have this piece of pyrite that I found not too long ago. So I guess this is the universe's way to give back to me, saying maybe you should have more abundance in your life or something like that. I think he is looking over me and he gave this crystal back in my life because I had no idea that I still had this. And I got this when I was a little girl before I was really ever into crystal collecting in the first place. Those are some really basic ways to have a crystal come in your life. You know, use your intuition. Are you looking for specific properties of a crystal? Because that would be another indicator to pick that one up. To look at its shape, use a pendulum. That's my favorite way to pick a crystal. Just let it come to you. If you find a crystal just laying there, or someone gives it to you out of the blue, or for your birthday, or whatever kind of celebration you're having, then it was meant to come to you. And again, don't get caught up if something is right or wrong. If it's meant to be in your life, then it's meant to be in your life. So that was a really quick video about how to choose a crystal. Pretty simple. If you liked this video, you can comment down below if it resonated with you, if you love crystals. I would love to know. If you have any pick a card suggestions or other crystal videos you'd like me to make a video on, I would be happy to do so. I'm always open to new ideas, so you can just let me know down below. A whole playlist of crystals for your zodiac sign. If you're having a hard time buying a crystal, you don't know which one to get, then that's maybe a good video to start with. Thank you all for watching. Join me on my live tarot readings. I typically do those on Sundays, and sometimes I do a surprise one during the week. A private tarot reading, I only charge $5. Very cheap as far as tarot readings go. You can just DM me in my socials link down below for a tarot reading if you'd like one. And then I will see you all in my next video. Bye.